classic TV fans, Rick Nineg here. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about I Love Lucy, more specifically about an episode from season 3 in which Lucy and Ethel are wearing a specific design dress. Now, this was submitted to me by one of you. I think it is worth looking at because it's a very interesting concept. We'll get right into it, and you'd be surprised to see where else this dress was at. Now, what's really tricky is knowing who came first, right? The chicken or the egg? Well, same. Which dress came first? I'll explain all of it to you. First, let me talk about the I Love Lucy episode, something I love doing, and it puts everything into the proper context. So the episode I'm talking about, I'm sure you have seen. Let me know if you've seen it below. It's called Lucy and Ethel Buy the Same Dress. Now, this is very important, but it came out, it was released October 19th, 1953. Now, this is the one where Lucy and Ethel wind up buying the same exact dress for a TV appearance. Now, they agree that the only way to salvage their friendship is to return both dresses. But of course, this is Lucy and Ethel. So when they arrive at the TV studio, well, beforehand, both decide each separately and independently to keep the dress. So when they do arrive at that studio, they find that neither one of them have taken the dress back. So what happens as they ironically start to sing the friendship song, they start ripping each other's dress apart until essentially almost nothing is left. And the boys, that is Ricky and Fred, wind up going into the scene of the television appearance and kind of ripping the girls apart and being, kind of continuing the scene with the friendship, just a perfect blandship. And so, I don't know, it's a great episode. It's one that's really, really funny, and the iconic scene of the girls ripping each other's dress apart is truly iconic. Now, credit for this video does have to go to Rob F., who is a supporter of mine, and he gave me some of this information, but I had to do a little hunting myself. There's an image that he sent me, one very much like this one, where we see Van Johnson with a beautiful Esther Williams, and you will notice a very similar looking dress. Now, it's not exactly the same. I will give you that, okay? I'm not here to say this is the same dress and physically Lucy was in that dress and Esther Williams was in that dress. No. But the style is very interesting, especially this part where we see Van Johnson and Esther Williams on the top part where we look at the top half of the dress. I think it's very interesting. Remember, the I Love Lucy episode came out in 1953. And this movie, what year did it come out? Yep, 1953. In fact, it was released December of 1953. So 2 months after I Love Lucy, that I Love Lucy episode came out. So you may think, okay, then did this movie rip off the I Love Lucy episode? Well, no, not really, because this was actually filmed in February of 53, and the film was released in December of 53. So in fact, the movie did come before the I Love Lucy episode. So I'm not here to say anyone stole anything from anyone, but Van Johnson did appear in an I Love Lucy episode, and he was really good friends with Lucille Ball. Esther Williams also knew Lucille Ball. Now, what I also can tell you is that it's more of the similar style of dress that we are talking about here. It's a dress where we see, I'm not a dress expert by any means. It's a strapless type dress that we see, and then we have going from the top corner, basically the shoulder, going along the way. So it's going kind of diagonally alongside of the dress. We see just flowers or roses or just some type of flower material. There's a lot more petals on the I Love Lucy dress than the one in the Esther Williams movie. It's called Easy to Love. And so in that one, we see that the flowers continue all the way to the bottom side of the fluffy part of the dress. Not same with I Love Lucy. So for me, it's definitely not the same dress, but it's definitely the same style strapless dress. And I can also tell you that it's the same style with the flowers. So I'm just guessing it's a style from the 50s. Now, I know a lot of you may even be experts in dresses, and maybe this dress has a specific name, and maybe there's a reason for it. I just wanted to bring it to attention of my audience. I think it's really cool. If we look at the top side of the dress or the top half of the dress, you could swear, and we make them both black and white, you can swear that it's basically the same dress, same design, right? Which is really, really interesting. I want to know your thoughts down below. Did you ever notice this? At least a similarity between the dress, and I think people like myself would think, well, it's the exact same dress because I'm no dress expert, but I would really love to hear your thoughts down below. That's one of the things that I love to do here, make connections, and it's great that a lot of you out there are making these connections and seeing similarities in regards to these outfits. I was not around during the 50s, so I didn't even know this was a style, but paying attention to it, it was more popular, I guess, than I ever thought. Would love to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for the support as always, and most importantly, never forget, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon, especially my Diamond tier patrons. New patron Gerard D, David D, Citizen Kane 359, Greg S, Kevin K, Ricky, Sally, and Vito L. Make sure to check the links in the description to see how you could be on this list as well.